The 90s are back in fashion, and to celebrate, Vauxhall is bringing a car name back from the dead. The new Vauxhall Frontera, yeah. It's now been redesigned as a big value family SUV for an all-new generation. And today, I'm going to show you around it. I kind of missed the 1990s fashion the first time around because I was at primary school and being dressed by my mum. But as I got slightly older, I enjoyed embracing it. You know, like Saved by the Bell vibes? Yes, big 90s jeans and bomber jackets. Love it! The old Vauxhall Frontera was another 1990s success. It might not have what you call a cult following, but for years it was the best-selling SUV in the UK. So it makes sense that the name has been reborn for this, an all-new electric car with emphasis on space and value. Yeah, so in terms of Vauxhall's lineup, the Crossland's now gone. This replaces the Crossland. This now sits in the middle of the Mokka and the all-new generation Grandland, which, by the way, has had its own little glow-up as well. But in terms of space, this is longer than the Mokka. It's 4,380 millimetres, so roughly around the same size as an Astra. However, way more spacious because of its boxy shape. But what makes it really interesting is the price. Although it hasn't been officially confirmed yet, it is expected that the Frontera will be around the same price as the Mokka. So the electric version will start at around £27,000. Oh, well, at least they're saying they're aiming for sub £30,000. That makes it a lot of car for the money. So shall we look around the outside first? It looks quite rugged. Don't you think? Rugged rather than sporty. I mean, we've got the classic Vauxhall visor front here, which is now becoming a bit of a Vauxhall statement, isn't it? We've also got those nice Vauxhall design LED lights at the front as well. Now, down the side, we've got contrasting colours here. So we've got a contrasting roof, and I have to mention these optional roof rails, right? So on a normal car, you've got a limit of, 75 kilograms? These will take 200 kilograms. So if you're like a camping family or you've got an e-bike or something like that that's quite heavy, pop them on the roof, go for your life. We've also got contrasting door handles, which I think look very nice. You may have also noticed no chrome on the outside. We've only just got a little bit of shiny bits on the wheels. These wheels, by the way, are 17 inches. They are as big as they're going to get. So if you go for the entry-level model, you'll get 16 inches, which is a little bit more efficient, if you will, but these ones are 17. We've also got a kind of round and square wheel arch. So you've got the round bit there, and then kind of like a square design round here, which I do think looks quite nice. Now, if we look around the back, you'll notice something very different that's not normally on a Vauxhall. Look, full lettering, which I have been told is going to stay black, which I think is quite classy, isn't it? And then we've got that kind of skid plate, rugged SUV look going on here. The lights look very smart, and then you've got a rear wiper. Love a rear wiper on a car, yes. The boot is a really good size. So you've got 460 litres of space in here, but you've also got a split boot floor because underneath here, that's where you can put your charging cables and muddy wellies and bits and bobs like that. But the space, because this is such a big boxy space inside, fold the seats down, you've got 1,600 litres of space. That's huge. Right, so you know I mentioned earlier this is the same length as a Vauxhall Astra. The space back here is a completely different ballgame. Obviously, we've got the big boxy shape. So headroom, look at that. That's really, really impressive. There is so much space back here. This is set up for my driving position because I put that seat in that position. And legroom is pretty decent as well. I'm 5'6½". The half is very important. And in terms of space, yeah, it's all right. I mean, it feels kind of dark, but that's probably due to the fact that this one doesn't have a panoramic roof. But I have spotted a couple of little bonus windows at the back there, little like side windows, which might brighten it up a little bit. A couple of little perks back here. Phone pocket. So if you've got kids or teenagers or whatever that like to sit in the back and watch YouTube, you can put a YouTube video up the top, pop it in there, and they will shut up the entire journey. Nice bonus. You've also got a couple of charge ports down there, so you can keep all of your gadgets all charged up. Nothing here. No cup holders or anything, which is a bit of a shame. But apart from that,
It's all right. Got some scratchy plastics, but you've got a bit of material down here that kind of spices it up a little bit. And door pockets. I don't think you're not going to get much in the door pockets. So just put things in there. Be fine. Now, Vauxhall say they have focused on the essentials when it comes to this car. And do you know what? I can totally see that they've done that. I mean, in terms of the fact that this is a value car, you've got a lot of kit for your money. I mean, you've got two 10-inch screens here for the pure panel. So you've got your infotainment here, you'll have all your driving information here. This is a new design steering wheel, which can I also say is very satisfying to hold and very lovely to look at. We've also got lots of buttons. We all know I'm a fan of knobs and buttons. Yes, big fat yes from me for all of the knobs and buttons for your heated seats, for your fans, etc. For everything all behind the steering wheel, you can control your wipers, everything, all with a button or a knob. Love that. Also, old school, you put your key in. Like you physically put a key in. I haven't seen one of those in ages. Like in a really long time. But in a way, I kind of like that because, you know, when sometimes there's like a start-stop button, you have to put your key somewhere and then it ends up taking up a cup holder. So no, actually, putting your key in. I like that. Yeah, I approve of that very much. You've also got wireless charging down here, which, by the way, is cooled. So when you put your phone in there, it doesn't overheat. I don't know how they've done that, but they've done it. And also down here, no gloss black, no piano black anywhere. So no fingerprints, no issues with anything like that. It's all just a very nice, clean design. We also have intelligent seats. So they're designed for comfort for the bottom of your spine. This is quite weird, right? So you've got like a gap down the middle here. So essentially you just have cushioning underneath your cheeks and then a little gap where your tailbone would be, because they're saying that if you're doing a really long journey, that would look after your back better and you won't feel so much pressure on the bottom of your spine. Who knew? But also just a really good place to collect crumbs. Also, lovely little nods to the fact that storage is fabulous in here, but also sturdy. What they've decided to do is put rubber bits everywhere so that nothing slides all over the place. Annoyingly, I can't really show you that because this is a pre-production car, so they don't have the rubber bits. But here, where the shelf would be, your phone won't slide all over the place because that will be rubber. In here, that will all be rubber. In here, that will all be rubber to hold onto your cups. But not just that. You can put more things in here. If you've got a giant cup, they've put like elasticated bits there. So you can really put your giant cups. If you're a big gulp person, put it in there. Put an iPad in there if you want to. Also, I've never seen this before in a car. So normally your gear selectors, you've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then B, which would normally activate your regen braking, which then allows a bit of feedback and then makes the most out of your range. But we've got a C here. Now the reason being is drive mode in this car will have regen braking. And then if you want to not have regen braking, I don't understand why you wouldn't want it, but if you don't want it, you would then step down to comfort mode and it would stop that bit of feedback, which is kind of a good idea because regen braking is very important in an electric car. But in terms of everything else, it's not bad in here. Considering we are in a value vehicle, it's all right. I mean, the design of everything is all laid out really nice. Everything's all pointed towards the driver. Yeah, I reckon this could be a very comfortable, satisfying journey.
What about the bits underneath, I hear you cry? Right, here is where you might notice some cost cutting. The Frontera uses most of the same bits as the Jeep Avenger, which is not a bad thing. That means a battery size of 51 kilowatt hours and a range of around 250 miles, with 100 kilowatt rapid charging. But the motor has had a downgrade from 154 brake horsepower to 111. That's not a lot in a car of this size. An MG ZS has 154 brake horsepower, for example. It does beat the 93 brake horsepower of the cheapest BYD Dolphin, but the £30,000 Dolphin has 201 brake horsepower.
There's a lot to like about this car. I mean, it could make perfect sense for you. If you've got a growing family with kids that are getting taller, they can fit in the back, absolutely no problem. I mean, they've made that interior space very usable, especially if budget is a concern for you as well. My worry is the motor. I mean, if you are a family that likes to travel on holidays and load up the roof rack and load up the boot, are you going to be able to keep up on the motorway? The only way to be able to tell is when we drive it. So more on that when we actually drive the thing. Meanwhile, subscribe to the Electrifying YouTube channel. Thank you.